Hello, welcome to episode 317. We're going to be making a crop sprinkler to increase the growth speed of nearby crops. Only works on one specific crop. You'll need a different sprinkler for each type of crop. But this is, on episode 315, we were experimenting with accelerated crop growth, and GalSergey made this comment and showed us how to make this. And I thought this was fantastic. I have to share it. We're in version 1.19.4. And basically, I only got one carrot. There's my sprinkler in the middle of my carrot field. If I turn it on, it's going to randomly sprinkle. And we can see that the crops are starting to grow a little bit quicker. Now, what we can do to make it pretty obvious that it's working, although I think it's pretty obvious that it's working, we can change the speed. So let's change the speed from 10 to 1. And we're definitely going to spot it. There we go. My crops are growing. I can now have my carrots. I won't be hungry anymore. Fantastic. Well, enough of that. Let's get on and make it now. I have to say thank you very much to GalSergey for showing me the commands in the comment. Okay, let's make it now. Okay, the first thing we're going to need are some scoreboard objectives. There's my crops. They're growing very, very slowly, and I'm hungry now. So let's make this thing. Right, I'm going to have two scoreboard objectives. And the first one I'm going to sort of use as a timer. Scoreboard objectives, add, call it sprinkler. And it'll be a dummy. Done. And I'm going to control middle mouse, copy that block and put it down. Chain always active. And we're going to have a sprinkler ID because I want every sprinkler to have its own ID, and you'll see why later. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's make sure we press that button. And now let's give ourselves a sprinkler. So we're going to use a spawn egg. Give egg. Give the nearest player. I'm going to use slime. Use anyone you like. Slime, spawn egg. Okay. And let's give it some information. So I'm going to give it a name, display. In display we have name, apostrophes for the name, curly brackets, text. It's not happy already. Look at that. Sprinkler. Okay, how did we make a mistake so quickly? What mistake have we made in there? Spawn egg, display, colon, name. Oh, we didn't put a colon there. Name. There we go. How silly. Okay. Now, we don't want it to spawn a slime, so we're going to need EntityTag. Some information regarding the entity we are going to spawn. Okay. I'm going to spawn ID. Minecraft item display. Okay. And I also want it to have some tags. So, tags. And I'm going to call it sprinkler because that's what it is. And what item? Oh, outside the tags bracket. There we go. What item? I'm going to use a lightning rod because it looks like a little sprinkler. Item. ID. And it will have a count of 1. If you don't have a count, well, you won't be displaying one. Minecraft lightning rod. And here comes the long bit, because I want it to be a little bit smaller. So after count, there we go, after that curly bracket there, let's give it some transformation information. Transformation. And we're only going to use a couple of bits, but we need to put them all in. Left, rotation. We do have to make sure we spell things correctly. Some of these commands are going to be quite long, so we don't want to debug them. Let's get it right first time. 0F, 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 1F. Okay, and we're just going to copy that, except for the left bit. Copy. Because we also need right rotation. So right, paste. And we want translation. Now, since I am making it smaller, I'm going to have to translate it a bit. So let's move it up slightly, 0F. I'm going to make it half size, so I'm going to make it 0.5 on the scale. So half of 0.5, 0.25. F0 F. So that's the translation. Let's do the scale, and I want it to be half size in every dimension. So 0.5 F, 0.5 F, 0.5 F. Okay. We missed out one of the commas. There we go. Done. Let's give ourselves that egg and let's just chuck one down. Hey, there it is. There's our little sprinkler. Okay. Kill add entity type equals item display. Right, so that we'll put in the middle shortly. Let's make a controller. The first thing I want to do is I want to assign an ID to every sprinkler. So we'll do that first. This is going to be the controller. And we'll put it in this one controller. So everything's all contained in one. Repeat. So let's give it an ID. So we'll execute as any entity type equals item display tag equals sprinkler, unless it already has an ID. So unless score at s sprinkler ID equals at s sprinkler ID. So if it's already got an ID, we don't do anything. If it hasn't, we will store the result as a score on the sprinkler in its sprinkler ID, the result of running this command, scoreboard, players, add, we need a fake player, I'll call it ID holder, sprinkler ID 1. Okay, done. Let's do a bit of a test on that. Scoreboard, objectives, set display onto the sidebar, sprinkler ID. Now, let's put one down. Let's turn this on. It doesn't have an ID. Well, that's interesting. Did we press the button? We did press the button. Have we got sprinkler? Yes. Sprinkler ID? Yes. Well, we've made a mistake in the first command. This is not a good sign. Let's check our spawn egg. Let's check its tags. Sprinkler. That seems good. Text sprinkler. That's fine. That's just its text. Okay, so the problem must be in here somewhere. Execute as S. Well, that was pretty quick to find, and a pretty silly mistake to make as well. E. Done. Okay, so we've got 2 and 1, and let's do another one. 3. They're all getting their own ID. Excellent. Okay. Let's get rid of those. Kill at entity type equals item display. Now I put the next one down. It's 6 because we haven't reset the ID holder. That doesn't really matter. Okay, they're all getting their separate ID. Now let's play some particles. So it looks like it's on. Execute at any entity type equals item display tag equals sprinkler run particle falling water, and we'll lift it up a bit, so 0.5 on the Y. We'll have it quite small, 0.01. Make it a little bit taller though, 0.2, and quite small on the Z, 0.1. We'll have a speed of 0 and a count of 3. Okay, done. Let's put a sprinkler down. We know it's on. Look, some water coming out. Excellent. Let's get rid of that scoreboard. We know that's working. Okay, right. Next, we want to increment its timer. So we will scoreboard, players, add any entity, type equals item display, tag equals sprinkler. We're going to add to its sprinkler score, so this is going to be its timer 1. Next, if the timer gets to a certain value, we're going to summon an area effect cloud, and we're going to store the score of 1 into that area effect cloud's sprinkler score, and we're going to copy the ID from the sprinkler onto the area effect cloud. That's a lot in one command. So let's try and get this command correct, because it'd be no fun to debug this one. Execute as, okay, so we started well, we've made a mistake on the first word. Execute as any entity, type equals item display, tag equals sprinkler, and we're going to check its score. So this is how often it's going to work. Scores equals sprinkler equals, let's set it to half a second. So let's say 10 or higher, just to catch anything higher. And we will execute at that sprinkler. We will store success as a score at S sprinkler. We will summon an area effect cloud, and we will store success score area effect cloud sprinkler. Let's spell it right, sprinkler. Okay, we will run scoreboard players. We want an operation at S sprinkler ID, and we're going to get that sprinkler ID from any entity whose type equals item display, tag equals sprinkler. Look at all these mistakes I'm making. If I catch them all, it should be fine. Equals sprinkler, distance equals nothing to 0.1 or less than 0.1, and if it's a 0 we can remove it, so that's fine. Limit equals 1, and we want to copy its sprinkler ID. Done. Okay, so every time that reaches 10, it should store the success as a score. So every time it reaches 10, it will store the success in its sprinkler score of summoning an area effect cloud. So that's going to reset the score to 1. So that's reset our timer. And then we're going to summon an area effect cloud and store the success on that so that we're going to save a 1 to the area effect cloud as well. And then we're going to copy the ID from the sprinkler to the area effect cloud. So they're linked with an ID. Done. And the reason why we need an ID is because of this next command. We are going to spread the players. Let's have a look. Yes, now we spread the players. So we better do execute. Execute as any entity whose type equals area effect cloud, whose scores equals sprinkler equals 1, and remember we set it to 1 by using that store success. At that area effect cloud, run spread players from where it is as the center point, a minimum distance, minimum distance of 0, spread distance, a maximum range. Well, we've got a very small farm, so I think two blocks. Now here is the problem we have. I'll press done. We haven't finished this command yet, but I'll press done. Spread players will move you out the random distance that you specified, but then it will lift you up to the highest free block. So this is fine. We've got no blocks above us. But if we had, if our farm was inside, our area effect cloud would be spread out. Let's say it arrived in this corner. It would be spread out to here, and then it would zoom up to the top free block. What we need to do is we need to bring it back down to the same position as the sprinkler. That's why we have the IDs, so we can link them together. So now you can use under, but we would have to hard code a value. And we don't know what Y level they're going to make their farm, so we're not going to use under. We're not going to respect teams. I think this is false. Yeah, because we're not on teams. And who's it going to be? Add S. So we've spread the area effect cloud. Now, just in case there is a roof, we need to bring the cloud back down. So this is going to be another long one. So we're going to execute as any entity type equals area effect cloud scores equals sprinkler equals 1. Okay, and we're going to position as any entity whose type equals item display, whose tag equals sprinkler, if the score, if the score at S sprinkler ID equals entity type equals item display. We've made a mistake already. Type equals item display. It's still red because we'll need to limit this. That's why this one is red. Tag equals sprinkler. Distance equals nothing or less than 0.1. And remember, we can remove that 0. Limit equals 1. Now it should go green. Good. Sprinkler ID. So if the IDs match, we will run data modify entity at S. We'll modify the area effect cloud. We're going to modify its position array element 1. So 0 is X, 1 is Y, and it's the Y we want. Z is 2. And we'll set that from an entity at entity type equals item display, tag equals sprinkler, distance equals less than 0.1, less than 0.1, remember we can remove the 0, and limit equals 1, and we want its Y value, pos 1. Okay, done. So we give it an ID. Then after we've given it an ID, we're doing the water particles. Then we're going to add one to its timer, its sprinkler. When its timer equals 10, we'll summon an area effect cloud at it. Then we'll spread the area effect cloud by 2, so it could go anywhere around here. Then just in case there's a roof, we're going to bring the area effect cloud back down to the same level. Let's play a water particle at the area effect cloud. And then actually we could see if it's doing something then. Execute at any entity type equals area effect cloud scores equals sprinkler equals 1. Run particle, let's do a splash. Is that a real thing? Probably a real thing if you spell it correctly, isn't it? Splash at those coordinates. Let's have it 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, not too big, no speed, 100 particles. Done. Aha! Yes. Okay, then. So we're making an area effect cloud, we're teleporting it, and then we're playing a little splash particle at it, so we can see it dancing around. Fantastic. Now, the area effect cloud, because we haven't given it a duration, at the end of the tick, so basically when this command chain runs out, the area effect cloud is just automatically dying. So we don't have to clean it up at all. Now all we have to do is have a look at where the area effect cloud is and do something. Now we're going to have to hard code these values. So what we're going to do, let's turn it off for now. Now all these commands are going to be very similar. We're going to execute at entity type equals area effect cloud scores equals sprinkler equals 1. we will run fill. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We'll fill where it is. Minecraft carrots. And age equals 7. But we only want to replace Minecraft carrots whose age equals 6. So if it spots a 6 there, we'll pop a 7 down instead. Okay, done. Control middle mouse, copy that. Open it up, and if we spot a 6, we'll put a 5. Yeah, seems good. And if we spot a 5, we'll put, well, the other way around. if we spot a 4, we'll put a 5. And then we'll put a 4 if we find a 3. And we'll put a 3 if we find a 2. And we'll put a 2 if we find a 1. And we'll put a 1, I think you can guess, if we put a 0. Okay. Right, let's turn it on and see if I can now have something to eat, because I'm feeling a bit hungry after all of that. Just jumping around. Now remember, the age the age is separated, so there's like 3 ages for it, like 2 ages for one state, 3 ages for another state. So if it hits it and it doesn't change, it's still working. It's going from age like 4 to 5, which doesn't change a growth state. We can tell it's working just by how fast the carrots are growing. In fact, if we go into its timer, which we've currently got set to 10, what is it? Is that the 3rd command? No, the 4th command. So we go in here and we'll see its timer is currently set to 10. If we set that to something, maybe we could try 1. Let's find out what happens. Yeah, they're definitely growing faster. That's too fast. That's too fast. Let's put it back to 10. I think this is the right command in the right place. Done. Okay. There we go. Now you have to harvest them yourself, but that's okay. The sprinkler isn't an auto harvester. The sprinkler is just to help your crops grow a little bit faster. Anyway, there we go. A fantastic little sprinkler system that you can pop down and help your crops grow. Now, obviously, we have hard-coded carrots. Using command blocks, we are limited to some things, so we've had to hard-code carrots. If you want, this is a carrot sprinkler, in effect. You would have to do different ones for different crops. But I thought this was fantastic little design by GalSergey, and I thought I have to share that. And that'll do for today. Okay, I will see you, well, hopefully tomorrow. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.